Hey everybody, we're at equal time. This is Mark Pavratsky, joined by my co-host Rachel Norton and our guest for today, Jocelin Martinez. Thank you for joining us for another show. I'm going to start by apologizing for the video and tech in the last interview. It must have been great fun for folks to watch me literally leave the room and grab a new computer and have a lot of fun with that last interview. But got a new refurbished Mac and hopefully makes me look young as I talk to these college-age people. Let me give you some rundown from the NSIC this past week. It was a great week for St. Cloud State, for where Jocelin plays. The player of the week was Nicole Fries, her teammate. She's a forward who scored 2 goals against Upper Iowa and had an assist on the game-winning goal, beating Winona State. And also I want to give a shout out to a couple players from Winona State who had a really good weekend. Madison Kemp scored 2 goals against their win over MSU Moorhead, and Ellie Wardell had 3 assist hat trick against UMD, getting Winona State a win. And also I need to shout out one other player, a defender, scoring a couple goals with probably the hardest name to pronounce. So forgive me, Leja Davidsdottir. No idea, but I did my best. Scored the game-winning goal against Wayne State, her first goal on Friday, and then she also scored the game-tying goal against Augustana. I guess I'm gonna have to check out Northern State. Did you play with her, Jocelyn?
Who is that?
Leja, Lilia.
Oh, yes, I did play with her. Yes.
Right on. Well, apologies, Lilia. So first, I want to start out. We have a fun connection with our guests today. So, Jocelyn, how is it that you and Rachel know each other?
Well, I actually played against Rachel. It was my freshman year. And then, come to find out, we got a new coaching change my sophomore year when I was playing at Northern State. And then, surprised, she was my assistant coach. So it was a little crazy there. A little weird.
We'll have to get into that later. I have some questions.
Uh-oh.
Rachel, do you want to kick it off?
Sure. Okay, Joss. How are we doing? How are we doing today?
I'm doing very great. How are you guys?
We're doing good. I'm doing good.
I'm well.
Very good.
So we just want to know kind of where'd you grow up? How'd you get started with soccer? Tell us your background a little bit.
So I started playing soccer when I was very young. Started about the age of 4. Loved the game. I always knew I wanted to go play college soccer. I didn't necessarily think I was going to go to a university right away. I started off as like looking at community colleges and just didn't expect to go to university, honestly. And so it was my senior year. I was going to a tournament. It was around April time. I was going to a tournament in Las Vegas, and I wasn't expecting to get scouted. But there ended up being like 300 college coaches there. So I was like, hey, if it happens, it happens. But I'm very late in the process already, so I didn't expect it to. So I ended up coming back to I'm also from California, Central Coast, San Luis Obispo. Not a lot of people know where that is, but it's right between LA and San Francisco on the coastline. So beach life, little flex. So very small town. So we ended up going to the tournament, came back to California, and then I started getting these emails from different coaches from Kansas, South Dakota, California, just literally like all the states everywhere. Ended up talking to a coach from Northern State University. His name is Steve Kem. Love the coach, love the facilities there. Went to check it out. Just absolutely fell in love. Was not expecting it because it was South Dakota. I was like, what's there to do in South Dakota? My parents were very confused with my decision. They're like, what also? Like, you're a California girl. What are you doing over there? I was like, I don't know, honestly. So I ended up committing to Northern State. I ended up loving it. But yeah, that's how I kind of got to the, I guess, college level division. So
yeah, let's talk a little bit more about during the high school stage of it, because we do know, a lot of college recruiting happens so young, and you were saying, it kind of just came late for you. Talk about that process and how you like looking at community colleges, because I know California has a really robust, community college, athletic league, I know. And so talk about that process and what you maybe were exploring your other options if it wasn't going to be Northern State.
So pretty much, I was on varsity my sophomore, junior, and senior year. So my coach at the time was a coach at a community college that was 25 minutes away, and it's a very good program for like soccer community college wise. So he was kind of talking to me about the whole like process of like, hey, you could always come with me there, and I liked him as a coach, so I was definitely keeping my options open. And I knew some girls from high school were also planning on also going to play there. Also, when I was getting recruited, I got recruited at another community college in San Diego. Um, and the campus was just like beautiful, like you wouldn't expect it to be a community college. And then I loved the coaching there. So, I mean, the community colleges were, I mean, they were like, it was number 2 on my list. It was Northern State. And then I was thinking about the college in San Diego. But I guess playing in high school, just trying to, I guess, figure out what I wanted to do. I honestly wasn't, how do I say, I wasn't like super open to, like, I didn't have like all these like profiles up for getting, I guess, recruited. I know they have like, I don't know what they have now for recruiting, but I wasn't very, I don't know what the word is, like
You were putting yourself out there.
Yeah, I wasn't putting myself out there doing the things that I should have been doing. And so that's kind of why I guess the smaller like schools were kind of looking at me, the community colleges. And then, yeah, like I said, once I got back from Las Vegas, it kind of broadened my horizon of where I could go. So, but yeah, I was going to go the community college route, but got a little, change in the road there. So.
Yeah, was part of it just, I mean, getting a scholarship? Because I'm assuming community college, you wouldn't have, even, there's not an opportunity to get an athletic scholarship probably. So is that a factor in there?
The thing is, back home, it was also free schooling if I were to go to community college. So that was kind of a factor too. I was like, I could get my 2 years free, or right. I could go to, somewhere. And I was, going to get a scholarship if I were to go to, Northern. So it was kind of like up in the air still, just like money wise, but also Northern was also known as like a very low state tuition school. So I didn't have to pay a whole lot either way. So that kind of was a deciding factor, but not. My parents are more like, hey, whatever, is going to make you happy. Like, don't think about the money part. It's kind of just wherever you want to go. So that helped too.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what was your first reaction like coming to South Dakota? And like, was the new field there yet even? Or what was it like?
Yeah. So
what time of year was it?
When I visited?
Yeah.
So it had to been, I would assume May. So, I mean, it was kind of getting the warmer time. So I didn't experience the whole cold blizzards. Yeah, I didn't go in the, the cold time. So when I first got to South Dakota, the thing is with Aberdeen, you can't really just like fly into Aberdeen. Like it's a very small regional airport. It's very expensive. So we had to like fly into Minneapolis, do the 5-hour drive there. And then throughout the car ride, I was like, oh, yeah, there's not a whole lot going on. Like, where's the cities at? Where's the beach at? I was like, oh, wait, there's none of that here. I was like, just cornfields. And then my mom was kind of like, oh, like, what are you thinking, And I was like, I don't know. So we ended up getting there. Aberdeen, like I said, very small community, like 26,000 people. Once, like, it's Aberdeen and, like, pretty much nothing else for the next 3 hours. Yeah, I mean, I think the best part about Aberdeen is like the community, because like they are just like go to every game, like football games, soccer games, volleyball games, the stands are packed. And yeah, field wise, once they were recruiting me, it was getting built. So I didn't see like the whole field. Before they had a pretty not great grass field that they were playing on. But I was seeing like pictures of the new field and the facilities, and I was like, this place is going to look freaking awesome. Like, I want to play under the lights at this place. Like, it just, and then like once it was built and I got to play there, it was just like the field was just absolutely incredible. Like the best, probably one of the best fields in our conference, honestly. So,
it has to be. That's a gorgeous. I've just seen pictures of it. Rachel, tipped us up to that. Because it's really nice. I mean, a lot of people have, a quality field that doesn't have football lines, which is nice. But like this is a proper stadium, and it has just all the little pieces that make it look aesthetically. Like I would describe it like it looks professional. Like I don't know.
It very much is.
Yeah, which I think impacts. I talked to Ansley Atkinson, who plays at Creighton, and they have like the most amazing soccer stadium. It seats like 10,000. And I said, does that make you kind of think more like a professional? Like you hold yourself to and it does, like it helps you feel. Yeah. So you went in the summer. Obviously, I want to hear about like the first time you were really cold, because I know, and also it's a different type of cold out there. I went to school in the prairie too, and the windiness is really insane in winter. So like, do you remember who helped you buy your first winter coat and boots? Like, how was that first winter?
So my mom bought my first winter boots. I didn't own winter boots because I owned sandals, and that's pretty much, that's all I would wear. So like right when I first got there, me and my mom went to our great mall in Aberdeen that no one goes to, but I bought the duck shoes or whatever, and then had those, and then luckily we got like our nice parkas that we just wear 24/7. But I just remember like the first blizzard, I was like, oh, like what is going on here? And it would get like -37, like windy,
Sure.
like you couldn't even like walk outside because you'd get just like smacked with snow across the face. I was like, I don't know, but like eventually you get used to it, because at that point it's like cold is cold. So
yeah.
If it's like 27 degrees versus -3, like you don't really know at that point. But I would say I think the worst is just like playing in it, honestly. But like walking to classes and stuff isn't that bad. But
wow,
you definitely get used to it.
Adopted quick, Joss. That was a true Minnesotan thing to say. Cold is cold. That's what a Minnesotan says.
I'm starting to pick up on the lingo a little bit.
I know.
I've been called out for it.
And I heard a long O too. You're getting a little Minnesota accent. It's good.
my parents aren't gonna like that. My parents aren't gonna like that.
sorry, mom and dad. Sorry.
Yeah.
I will say playing in the cold is like the worst thing ever. And absolutely. I don't know, how do you feel about it? Like your toes are cold and like it's snowing and you're kicking the ball and the snow is like collecting on the ball. And you're like, why? No one else has to deal with this except like Midwest people.
Yeah, no, I just remember one game specifically. We were up in Mary. I don't know if you remember this, but we were up in Mary, and I just remember being the coldest game I've ever played. I was trying to talk to my center back. I couldn't even open my mouth because I was so numb. Like I had, hand warmers and my gloves wasn't working at all, because when I'm throwing the ball in, like my hands get wet. So then it's just like cold for the rest of the game. It's game over. Once your feet are wet, it's game over. They're frozen. Like you can't do anything, honestly, to warm up. Like, yeah, not a good time. Not a good time.
Well, and it's a bummer because like I played in high school soccer, in Minnesota. California is different, but it's in the fall. So you're playing the most important games. The playoffs for us were always there would be snow, and you're like, it does kind of lower the standard of play, like by a huge factor. There's something kind of fun about like, oh, I played in the snow, but like really, you want to be able to play the game.
Yeah, no, and it's kind of funny because like I guess compared to California, like obviously it doesn't snow, so like my background there, like when I'm playing, it's just mountain ranges, trees everywhere. And then I'm playing, I remember when I was when I was at Northern and playing St. Cloud, there was just snow piles all over the field. It was snowing. I was like, wow, this is a big change right here. I was like, this is crazy. So, yeah.
That's not fun. What would you say was your favorite thing about Aberdeen?
I would say definitely like my teammates. Like I absolutely love them. They are my best friends. Like we'll be the girls at my wedding by my side. And also I would say the community, like Aberdeen is very much known for like the community, like them supporting like the athletes, whether that's like donations. And I know like, I don't know if you've seen pictures, but the new football stadium is absolutely insane. Like, I don't even know, like, it's just crazy to me. Yeah. So they just back up their athletes so well. And I just, like, when I was there, I just loved, like, even the trainers, like, they were so, like, that was our second mom, Vicky. I just loved her so much. She was just so easy to talk to. The weightlifting coach, Holka, Mr. Holka, love that guy. He was just super friendly. Like, we could just all get along. Like, the community there, I just loved it so much. So
that's awesome. Yeah. And it's a special thing about college towns that are small like that. Like Bemidji is a bit like that, where that's the biggest thing in town. So, It definitely, you can tell because it's, that's the biggest sport they have there.
Yeah.
So now I want to ask just a little bit about Rachel being there with you at Northern State, and then we'll have a break and talk a little bit more St. Cloud and forward. But first of all, just like, what kind of coach was Rachel?
Oh, Rachel. So I mean, personally for me, loved her, obviously. So we had a coaching change my sophomore year. He was very strict, very like played by, I don't know. He's just a very strict guy. So Nort. Sorry, I just call her Nort because that's just what I used to call her. So like she was very easy. Like if I had a problem, I could go to her. I just remember like sometimes like I would just come like crying to her like after the game about something, and she could just be like open arms, like just would take me in, and I just like loved her as a coach. Like she was a great coach, and I just love how she's also a fantastic player. So like she would come play with us during practice, and you're just like, okay, I don't want to go against her. You go ahead, take the ball down. But yeah, she was just great person, great coach, great everything. So I just love her. So
nice. So Rachel, I knew Rachel wouldn't be able to resist. She had to keep telling you guys like, I still have it. She had to get into training. Like, do you want me to step in? Should I step in?
We're like, no, it's okay. It's okay. It's all good. Stay on the sideline. You can stay coaching.
Although, yeah, I mean, I'm sure. Yeah. And Rachel, talk about what it was like to coach Joss for the year you were there.
Yeah, I definitely got cocky once I graduated. Like my whole life, I swear, I was like humble. I was like, yes, like this is great. And then the second I graduated, I was like, I'm the best. Like, it was bad. So I feel bad for Northern because they heard a lot of my spiels. I used to just go off in the locker room about like motivation and how you're only going to be the best if you want it and all this stuff. Like you need to live to impress. And I'm sure they were just like, oh my gosh. But no, I was new. I was brand new coaching. I'd literally never coached before. I was hired based off of just like trust and someone who believed in me to coach. And it was my first year. If I were to go back and coach now, I would do a lot of things different. I think I'd be like 10 times better. But it was my first rodeo. So I love that you guys say that I'm a good coach, but I know for a fact I wasn't. So I'm very happy that you guys are so kind about it. But yeah, it was interesting. I will say Aberdeen, yeah. It is that small town and it's really great. And sometimes I find myself missing it, which is crazy. But there's no like lake within like 20, 30 miles. And that would just drive me nuts. Like just dry grass and like trees. And I'm like, what is this place?
Yeah.
I always said the soccer field was the most beautiful part of Aberdeen. And I always told the girls, yeah, and I always told the girls, you guys are the best people in Aberdeen.
I think it's a bummer at those schools. Like same with Morris, where it was just Prairie, because you leave kind of in May, and then it immediately, like 2 weeks after, is the most beautiful it ever is. It like all summer, and when you're not there, because if I happened to come back to campus one time in June, and I was like, oh my God, this time everything looks. We finally have some vegetation. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it was tough because, the girls were my best friends, but obviously they can't be my friends. So it was hard balancing that. Like they were my like support system a little bit that I relied on, but obviously you can't have that with your players. You can't call them up after practice to go grab a beer. So you just have to balance that, especially I was only 22. So some of the girls were actually older than me, which is wild. Me and Joss had a good time. We definitely did.
Well, I'm sure it does help. Like it is the thing. I mean, we talk about it, I think, very often because it comes from players, that having so many of the coaches be male, it stands out. And I think like is especially appreciated when you have a female coach or someone that you can connect to in that way, right? I mean, there must be a tremendous value in having at least an assistant coach you can connect to that way.
Oh yeah, she's definitely like an outlet for us because I know sometimes with male coaches, it's very hard to go talk to them about personal things. And she's so close to our age, like she just graduated at the time. It was just like talking to another friend. Like it didn't seem like when I needed to go in for personal stuff, it didn't seem like a coach, like from a coach's perspective, it seemed like more personal, So
Yeah, nice. Well, I'm going to do a quick ad read to thank our sponsors for the show. In addition to all you member Patreon supporters, this show is brought to you by Pentz Homes. Pentz Home is a real estate team with Keller Williams, and Matt has personal experience working with Nate and Lydia when he sold and bought a new home last fall. Nate has been a supporter of local soccer, including as an owner of the Minnesota women's soccer team. Matt enjoyed working with one of their preferred lenders, Angie Shearer with Luminate Financing. If you guys have house questions, whether selling, buying, need a furnace or flooring person, shoot them a message over at pentzhomes.com. And I'll just editorially add that Nate Pentz is a regular customer at the bar where I bartend, and he tips very well and is a very nice customer. So thank you, Nate. It was good to see you and your crew the other day. Come out to the, yeah, oops, that turned into an ad for Black Card. Queer soccer bar, it's great. Yeah. So talk to us, Joss. Now we want to talk to you, your second stage of college. Obviously you transferred, you're now at St. Cloud State. Talk about just what kind of motivated the transfer, and then what then made you pick St. Cloud.
So it was my sophomore year. We had a coaching change. He was a former coach at Bemidji State. He was the assistant coach. I guess right from the start, we all, like the team and him, we all just kind of butted heads. And I mean, our record at the end of the season, I don't even know. I think we were like second to last in conference or something like that. It was just the environment. I don't know how like vague I can be or like real I can be, but it was just not a good environment for anyone's mental health. Like, it was just not a place where I wanted to be. I wasn't happy anymore. I didn't want to play for this coach anymore. I just knew that I had better opportunities and could do better at a different school. And I went to the transfer portal, and I was getting more emails from schools and stuff. So it was kind of, crappy situation being back on the recruiting process, because the recruiting process is just so stressful in itself. I just, didn't want to, and I didn't want to leave all my best friends at Northern, but I went back on the portal, started looking at different schools, and I actually knew the assistant coach at here, Jade Smith. She used to play at Mary, and so I was already had connections in that realm, and she always said like, hey, if you ever like want to come play with us, like it's always open. And then once like that final decision kind of clicked, I was like, okay, like I'm going to reach out. So I reached out to Jade, and then got in contact with Greta, my coach now. And they kind of just took me under their wing. I was already very familiar with like St. Cloud. I played against them here at St. Cloud and at Northern. And yeah, I mean, I ended up here. So it was not too far from my best friends now. It's like 4-hour drive. So like we'll come see each other, on weekends where we're both free. And yeah, so I decided to stay in the Midwest because I love the snow so much. So
yeah. You moved to the big city of St. Cloud now.
Yeah.
Where
big compared to Aberdeen, yes.
Where else did you consider? What if it wouldn't have been St. Cloud? Where would it have been?
I was in contact with like a couple schools, but honestly, like I was just so close to Jade at that point. Like when she was like, "Hey, come aboard," I was like, "Okay," but I know I was getting schools from New York emailing me. There were schools in South Carolina emailing me. So, I mean, my options, again, were very broad. There was schools in California. There were schools. I now live in Pennsylvania. I moved there 2 years ago. There was a school like 20 minutes from where I live now that was emailing me. So I could have honestly gone back home, been closer to home, but I decided to stay. So I think relative, just because like, yeah, my friends at Northern and I knew the assistant coach, so there's already just like a comfortable, feeling around the whole situation. So
at least your parents can fly to Minneapolis and drive 1 hour.
Yeah, see, they're actually coming this weekend, so it'll be a better, they don't have to drive 5 hours, so it'll be nice. So yeah.
So tell us about kind of like your new coaches. I know you said you know Jade Smith, and I know her too. She's such a beauty, honestly. And sure, Mary, I was not a fan of you, Mary, but knowing how good like of a person she was, I was like, I like this. So yeah, how is Greta and Jade? How's that going?
So I guess going back to the recruiting process a little bit, when I was talking on the phone with them, it was just like a total polar opposite of like what my coach was at Northern. They were very like welcoming, very kind, just like so easy to talk to, very easygoing. So like automatically that I guess like I was drawn to them because I just hadn't felt that in like so long coaching wise. So it was so easy to like just be like, okay, like I really like these coaches.
Mm-hmm.
And then came here, I mean, same, like they're just the same as they were on the phone. Like there's no, I guess, like catfish wise, like they're just very like, yeah, very nice, outgoing people. They're great coaches. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
I love the coaching staff.
Yeah. Well, and speaking to, that's what we talked about with just the difference of having women-led teams. Like there's an anecdote, like I worked, one of my favorite jobs, I worked for the nurses union here in Minnesota, and it's almost all women. And boy, were those meetings better than other political meetings I've been in, because people are just a lot more collaborative. So that I could fully understand that with the coach too. How has it changed? I know when St. Cloud announced they were going to get a men's team, I know my brother talking to Greta, he was kind of surprised. Greta was really excited and thought, that it would add to the soccer culture. So how has that changed, or what have you seen change having a men's team now?
I mean, personally, like I didn't experience that at Northern either. So it was also like very new to me. Them coming in though, I think, I don't know. I mean, I think we all like it as a team. Like it adds like, I guess, more friendships. And then I think it's also nice. We'll have more fans like cheering for us. Like their whole team will come support us. We'll go support them. Yeah, I think I don't know. We're just all super close with them. So, I mean, just, I don't know, as more friends to the,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Pretty good. Like, do you know how they're doing this year?
I mean, I think it's hard because they are just such a new program. So, I mean, I wouldn't say they're doing the best, but I think they're doing what they can with just being very, very new. They're constantly like bringing in new players and like, so I think it's hard for them because like they brought in like seniors and then juniors and then like, I don't know, they haven't had time to form any chemistry. So, I mean, they're not doing that great, but hopefully like as the years go on, they'll get better and better. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. So how's your season looking this year? I noticed you guys won the last two and you played 90 minutes the last game.
Yep.
Tell us about it.
So I think we started off a little rocky. I don't know if we found our like chemistry. I don't know what it was. I think it was just a little rocky in the starts. But I just noticed this like before we played these two games this last week and like the week prior to that, like our practices were just like on point. Like we were just, I don't know, something was like different compared to like the other games where we were just tying or like losing. And then I just know like we went into this week and we're like, no ifs, ands, or buts, like we are getting these two dubs, like whatever it takes. Like we just had like great mentality going into it. And then we played Winona Friday and I mean, we just wanted to win. Like you could just tell on the field and we got those like 3 points and we're like, okay, like that just kind of carried into the momentum on Sunday. And Upper Iowa, they were 5-0. So we were kind of like, okay, like this is going to be a tough game. I think they're number one in the conference or something like that. So, I mean, we were prepared for a battle, honestly. So we went into Sunday, got three more points, beat them 3-0. So we got 6 points on the board, which is super nice. We definitely needed it. But yeah, so I think the momentum is just going to keep going, honestly. So I'm excited to see what's going to happen for this weekend.
What do you think the strength of your team is in terms of like, style of play or just what you do well? And what do you think, I mean, you said the mentality really helped. So what do you think what would make you successful most in terms of like finding improvement?
I think recently we've been really focusing on like our combinations up top. And if you watch our Upper Iowa game, like we are just passing around defenders like it's nobody's business. Like it just looks so like good and put together. And I think like on the field, you can tell like our chemistry is finally connecting because now we're finally like everyone's kind of finding their spot on the field as well. But yeah, I think we're super successful like finding combinations. There were 6s, 8s, like our 9s, 10s. And I think defending wise, we're starting to get that, like, I guess that strong back forward, just like knowing what each other's strengths and weaknesses are. Like for my center back that I play with, I just know she's super fast. If I get beat, like she'll be there. And so like automatically I know like just to drop back cover for her. Usually she's got it under control. But yeah, I just think we're just becoming a stronger team overall in general. For each practice that we practice, like we just get better and better. And I just think finally we're taking shots. They're going in. So, I mean, at first we were taking shots. They weren't really on target. So we weren't like getting those points on the boards. But now we're taking shots. Like we're finally finishing our shots, our opportunities, scoring on set pieces a lot recently as well. So I think that is a huge part of our strengths is like our set pieces, whether that's a throw in, corner kick, we can find ways to get it in. So.
Mm-hmm.
Are you shooting?
Am I shooting?
Yeah.
I would say I'm crossing. I'm doing a lot of crossing. So shooting, hopefully sometime maybe this weekend. We'll see. But yeah.
Are you up on set pieces? Do you get in the box for those? Or you said it's maybe you take the throws. Do you take long throws?
So I'll be taking the throws, and then this past weekend actually, I go up for corners. I'm usually the garbage. So like one of my girls crossed it in. I tapped it over to Jenna Dominguez. She headed it in. Got a nice little assist, so that was cool. But yeah, I go up for corners, do the trash, or I'll do like the, like for corners, I'll do the short little run there, So I don't know. Hopefully I get a goal soon. That'd be nice. We'll see.
Have you scored one in college? Did you score in high school?
Yeah, I scored last year against Crookston. It was just to the right side of the net. But yeah, I'm hoping for some more. We'll see.
Yeah,
you gotta have some stories to bring when Rachel keeps telling you how many goals she scored. Do you know the number? Rachel, do you know the number off the top of your head? Must be like 50 or 60, right?
Is it? I seriously,
I
don't know numbers. I don't know.
I know how many I scored. It's easy to count. In high school, it was 2. Yeah, maybe 3.
It was 2. Oh, no. So, what are you looking to expect? I don't know when you guys do your scouting reports, but what are you looking to expect this weekend, Southwest and Sioux Falls?
I'm not too sure just because we haven't done the scouting reports, but we will watch film, obviously, eventually. And then hopefully pick them apart, find out their weaknesses, and then hopefully counter on top of those weaknesses. I'm not too sure on, honestly, I kind of forget playing them, both the teams, but I'm thinking it'll be a 6-point weekend again, honestly. So I'm excited. Yeah.
Are you away? I don't remember.
We're home.
Oh,
both games. Yep.
Nice. That's awesome. Yep.
That's an equal time exclusive. Jocelin guaranteeing the 6 points. So.
Oh yeah, you heard it here first, folks.
We're gonna find out if equal time has that bump. We're gonna find out. I think. I feel like there was something predicted on another episode. I can't remember, but. Those are, so I wanted to ask you, I guess Sioux Falls and Southwest, those are probably like the 2 closest trips if you're actually playing away. But so I was curious for you, like, what is your favorite away trip? Because you have to make some drives for sure.
Yeah, I guess it's different here because I haven't really experienced too many away trips from, I guess, Minnesota. But I know at Northern, I think we'd have to go, I think like 7 hours to Iowa or something like that. But I know for St. Cloud personally, we had to go to Michigan, Marquette. It's like 8 hours from here, and it was absolutely beautiful. Like the lakes there are just insane. Like it was so pretty. And then we got to spend like, I think 5 days there. So we were just kind of doing like team walks, and it was just like beautiful. So I think definitely Marquette was probably, I guess, my favorite so far. It was just, Michigan's beautiful. So.
I'm glad you got to go there because you're seeing even St. Cloud isn't in like the northeast part of Minnesota where there's like really good trees and rocks and lakes. So it's like, I'm glad the UP. Yeah, I lived in Duluth much of the last 12 years, and going over to the UP is great. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's because I was going to say in terms of the conference, is there one place to go where you actually like stay somewhere better, or like you don't have to? It'd be like you have such a long trip you have to fly or something.
Yeah, I remember like at Northern too, going to Duluth, and it was like right when the like trees were changing and stuff, and it was just beautiful. Like Duluth is just pretty in general, but like once the trees start changing, it's so pretty. So that was definitely also one of my favorite trips there too, because then we also stayed in a hotel that was like right on the water, and it was awesome.
Yep. So I agree. I always liked Winona this time of year. We were always in Winona right when the leaves were changing and the bluffs. I'm like, oh heck yeah.
Yeah, Winona's really pretty too.
Yeah.
And they just got a new field too. Did you see that?
Did they?
Apparently.
Yeah.
Yep, new turf field. So it was nice to play on. Yeah.
Yeah. So what team are you looking to beat the most this year then?
Honestly, I would probably just have to say Northern, just because like I think it'll be funny to, rub it in their face a little bit. And just because like it'll be and I don't know, I'm just close with the girls. So I personally, for me, it'll be a fun game for me. And like I know a bunch of my teammates also know them as well, just because like we've all like been here, they've been here there. So I think it'll just be like a very like intense game, and it's kind of like you got to play with a little chip on your shoulder because I used to play there, transferred. So I mean that's the like number one game. I'm like, okay, like got to secure the win there. So,
okay, you're making me want to watch the game now, Chad.
Yeah.
If you scored in that game, I honestly don't know. I haven't seen really like. Do they let you celebrate a little? Like I feel like
Oh yeah, my celebration would be like insane. I don't know what I would do, but I would have to make it a good one. I just know I'd have to make it.
Yeah. People get on the gram, get at Joss on the gram with your ideas, your celebrations. So
let me know.
Yeah, maybe you could just pull.
Sorry, go on.
I was gonna say, look up the U.S. women's ones from that last World Cup, where all the drinking tea and doing the rapino.
I'll have to do some. Even if one of my teammates scores, I assure you there will be a good celebration happening.
I was gonna say that game, October 29th, right? 5 p.m. Cloud, I'll be there.
Will you?
I wrote it on my.
Where are you gonna go for, Nort?
I wrote both, obviously.
You wear a St. Cloud hat and then a Northern shirt.
Well, technically, I'm going to St. Cloud, so.
Right.
Might sway a little this way.
I have both gear, honestly. I have a lot of NSU stuff and a lot of St. Cloud stuff, so I'll wear both.
Yeah, I might have to rep both.
I'll take the leftovers of that gear, Rach. I saw the Northern State gear. I saw, like, I have to say, the jerseys each year, like, they have really cool kits. Like, I like soccer jerseys. Like, they were dope.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Northern has great gear, and just like, I don't know, we even had these like nice little windbreakers. Like, just Northern in general just had great gear. I still wear it at home sometimes. Shouldn't say that because my coach and I would kill me. But back home in Pennsylvania, if I want to throw something on, you're like, oh, okay.
It's good colors. I'm a Gopher fan, man. That maroon. Do they call it maroon and gold? What do they call the colors?
Yeah.
I didn't know if they had a specific, like claret, those teams. Though.
No.
Yeah.
Cool. And what one question about like it? I don't know if you have a favorite, pro player you look up to as a role model, or like someone growing up. Do you have like a favorite U.S. women's national team player that you think you play like or like to try to play like?
I don't know if I would have like play like, but I just like love Alex Morgan. I just think she's just a crazy good player, and I actually met her at the airport, and I was like. Do you not know about this? I thought so. Yeah. Well, yeah, she's a great player, and I just think she's absolutely beautiful. Like, what's not to love about her? And she's a great person. Yep. But yeah, I met her one time. I was flying from LAX to Newark because they were playing in, I think, New Jersey that day or something. And I was just like gonna get my bag, and I saw like a USA bag, and it said like Morgan, and I was like, wait, there's no way. And then my dumb self like got starstruck when she turned around. I was like, oh my gosh, are you Alex Morgan? Like obviously, like what is she gonna be like? No, like yeah. And she's like, yeah. And I was like, can I get a picture with you? And I was like, and then took a picture with her.
But you have it though. You got it.
Yeah, so got the picture with her, got to meet her, so that was pretty cool.
Oh my gosh, you have to send me that picture.
I'll show you.
It's not your profile picture. I mean, it would be like
Yeah, I know. I actually have it on my wall over here, but yeah, nice. It's a little flex. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, the only national team player I met was Rose Lavelle, and I ended up getting a tattoo of her signature on my leg. But she was like, so she's really chill. So it was kind of starstruck, but like she's so low key. It's like, she's like, yeah. When I asked her, I said, will you sign my leg to tattoo it? She's like, oh, yeah.
That's sweet. That is sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay, so some things about St. Cloud. What's your favorite place to eat in St. Cloud?
My favorite place to eat. I would say we have this place called The Loon. They have like the best cheese curds ever. I don't know if you've had them, but they have great cheese curds. But badly enough, we kind of eat out a lot. We really like to go to Chick-fil-A. We don't really have a lot of places in Aberdeen. Like we had like McDonald's and like Burger King. So when I came here, I was like Chipotle. Like I'm there every week. I go there at least once every week. But yeah, I guess we don't really like to explore too much restaurant wise, which we probably should. But yeah, I mean, yeah, we love our fast food over here, which is probably not a good thing, but it's good. So.
Do you miss like good Mexican food? Because Minnesota, like we have little pockets, but like we have pretty, overall, not the best Mexican food.
Yeah, I know. I just remember when I was at Northern, they had this place called Guadalajara's, and I just couldn't stand. I was like, what is this? Coming from a Mexican family, they cook great tamales, pozole, and then I come over to South Dakota. I was like, this is not okay.
Everything's spicy, Jocelyn. It's so spicy.
No, I just it's embarrassing. I was like, okay, I can't eat here. Like it's crazy.
It is.
But yeah.
I will say, and because California, people can easily roast Midwestern, I should say white Midwesterners about not liking spicy food, because I met the first person I've ever met who literally said black pepper was hot, and also a dill pickle. Not joking. This happened a couple of years ago. I was just like, it cut me to my core.
Hey, that's all right.
It was, I felt embarrassed for sure. But so I know you're a business major, right? And you said comms minor. So talk about, do you have future plans of how you want to use that, or like the type of career you might want to look into?
Honestly, the reason I chose like my business marketing major is just because like it's very broad. I know I could do probably a lot with it. I have no specific thing that I am looking to do after college. That's why I went broad. And I also took a minor in communications to also like broaden what I could do as well. So yeah, I don't have anything specific lined up. I'll probably do an internship hopefully this coming summer, kind of figure out, get on a route of some kind, see what I want to do. But yeah, I have no idea yet. Up in the air.
How many years are you with the rules of scholarships and everything now, it's different too. So I'm not sure where you actually stand in your years. Are you technically a sophomore then athletically because of the extra year, or junior?
So I'm a senior right now. So I'm technically because of COVID, I'm a junior for soccer. So I do have another year after this year, which I will be taking. So I'll probably be here for another year and a half or so. So
nice. Another exclusive. Wow.
Yep.
That's awesome. Well, that's good. Yeah. And I will say, I know the last full season, I was looking it up, 2019 was St. Cloud's best year in a long time. And you're kind of coming into form this year. So yeah, I'm sure it's exciting to see what you maybe can accomplish the next year and a half.
Yeah, I'm super excited too. I think this year, we'll have a super great year. We have so many great girls on the team. And I think now that we found our chemistry, I think we're going to go a long way. So
nice.
Yeah.
This is really fun, Jocelyn. Rachel, do you have any other questions for Joss?
No questions, but I can't wait to see you play on the 29th.
Can't wait to see you too, Nort.
I am going to have to stream that. Yeah, I watched last week. Mankato played, Bemidji went down, and that was a great game because Bemidji's ranked 15th. Shout out to Rachel's squad, and it was a really entertaining game. It ended 2-2. It was fun, so it made me want to watch some more NSIC games for sure.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to watch that one if any.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm waiting for this Ellie. To get.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Plan.
Awesome. This is really fun. Really appreciate it, Joss, and thank you everyone for joining. Have a good day.
Thank you.